So today we're going to be covering tools for staff efficiency. All right, so it looks like most everything, except for calendars, you guys feel pretty confident that you're saving enough time on your calendars right now. And it is great that if you are currently using the LifeShare system, you do save a lot of time on your calendars, being able to generate different types of calendars from the same information that you have entered. So we will go ahead and move on. So kind of an overview is that we are going to go through the administrative tools that will have staff efficiency as a benefit. Then we'll go through activity tools and then communication tools at the end. As I mentioned before, make sure you have that group chat box open. Kim's there. She's ready to answer questions that you may have. And I also have the chat box open so that I can address them throughout the webinar as well. So as far as in administrative tools, we did mention calendaring, and you guys all said that you felt fairly comfortable, but just a reminder, you can create daily, weekly, and monthly calendars all from the same information that you enter once, and they all do get updated when you republish the calendars. We also have the ability to set repeating activities. They can be repeating weekly, daily, monthly, bi-monthly. There are so many ways to set a repeat so that if you have an activity that appears more than one time on your calendar, you are able to fill out that calendar and adjust the activities. You are also able to make edits to these repeating activities. You can edit for just that singular event or all events in that series. You are also able to elect dimensions of wellness and indicate that in your activities. And then you also are able to set activity types as well. So if your activity types are different from the dimensions of wellness, or maybe you have like a location key, those are things that we can work together with you on your calendar to make sure that it's being as efficient a tool for you as possible. The other thing as far as administration goes, and this is something that someone indicated that they were interested in, was activity participation tracking. Now, this is a fairly new feature to the LifeShare system. You can access it after you have created an activity. You go back in the activity. In the upper right-hand corner, it will say participation. You click that white button. And if you have your residents in the system, you're able to add them as participants. Now, it's really cool because you can access the activity participation tracking from a mobile device, meaning a tablet or a smartphone that you carry with you. You don't have to wait till the end of the day to track the participation. You can do it in real time, meaning that you can log in on your smartphone or your tablet from the browser, so your Chrome or your Safari. You go to lifesharetech.com, log in just like you would on the computer, and then you are able to quickly click into the activity and then track the participation and quickly add in the participants that are at that activity in real time. The other really cool thing about this feature is that it has exportable reports. And there are two types of reports that you can run for activity participation tracking. The first one is an activity report, which tells you in a certain time frame the activities that you tracked participation for and how many participants that you tracked were there and their engagement levels. You can even drill down further into that report and look at specific activities and print the lists of participants for each of those activities. Now, the second report that I think is so powerful is the resident report, meaning you can choose a specific resident, a specific time frame, and you can run a report for all the activities that they participated in that time frame. And you can even see their engagement level to be able to track trends. This is a very powerful tool to use with families or in care meetings with other staff members. Over on the right-hand side, we actually have a case study with someone who has been using activity participation tracking. If that's something that you're interested in, I'd be more than happy to share that case study with you and talk with you more about activity participation tracking. Those are the efficiency tools that we have as far as administration. If you have any questions about those tools, or you want me to go more in depth or show you something specifically about activity participation tracking, please go ahead and pop that in the group chat. So for those of you that are wanting to see exactly where that activity participation tracking is, if you are logging in, so I just logged in on my tablet, in my day at a glance, I can very quickly click into an activity. It's gonna pull that activity up for me to edit, so that's one click. My second click is to click participation, and then I add participants, and I'm very quickly able to check the residents that have attended this specific activity. I can even say, okay, keep this open while we're doing the activity and indicate whether they are active or they're passive. Once I save it, I can go back in and I can edit it later if I do need to make any adjustments. In order to do the reports, you simply click back on activities. Up at the top, you see the reports, and there are the two types of reports that I talked about being able to generate. What I really like about these two reports is that if I choose a resident, choose a time frame, I run the report, you can actually export that report to a comma-separated value document. So that, for those of you who are not familiar with that, that is basically an Excel document. So it's really great for you to put in extra notes because you can edit it, and then you can combine different reports if you'd like and print it for people to use. So that is the activity participation tracking. Doesn't look like we have any questions on administration, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our activity tools. As far as the activities tools go, we do have our phone call and text message activity reminders. Now, these are set with the individual activities, and if you haven't begun using these, I do encourage you to use them. We had a client over in Ohio that had so many of their residents missing out on activities that they were genuinely interested in just because they were forgetting that those activities were taking place and they were losing track of time. Once they implemented the phone call and text message reminders, their participation increased so much. I think they said by like at least 60%. So what's really cool about this feature is that you can group your residents into custom groups. So if you have a group of residents that always plays cards together, you can have a card club group so that anytime you enter a card playing activity, you can choose to remind that card club group. In order to send the phone call and text messages, you do need to have your residents in the system, and they do need to have their phone number in the system with area code. That's important. Otherwise, the phone call will not be able to be completed. It is nice because our system will read whether or not it can receive text messages, and if you've chosen the option to send a text message and that phone's not able to get a text message, it will skip over that phone number and go on to the next one. The other cool thing is that we have on-demand resources. For those of you who have not explored your slideshow, you can actually exit the slideshow and you can find a whole suite of on-demand activity resources. And I'm going to go back into that in a second. Ashley had a great question. If you choose the activity reminders and select both text and phone call, will it send both options to that one line? Ashley, yes, it will send a phone call and it will send a text message. Great question. If it's a landline and it knows it can't get a text message, obviously it won't send that text message, but that's a great question for everyone. Thank you. As far as the on-demand activity resources go, if you have never seen this screen before, this is the screen that you get to when you exit the slideshow. How you exit the slideshow is to press the black LS button on the white LifeShare remote, and it gets you to the screen. Down the left-hand side are all the different on-demand features. You're able to put videos that are longer than 2 minutes. You can play music on demand. So maybe you have a specific activity that is going on that does not go with the music you had previously scheduled. You can pull up different music on demand. There are games, And these all have different cognitive benefits and work on different parts of the brain. We have podcasts that are preloaded. There are different podcasts in there, and we even have one that is a specific monthly pick. So usually it has to do with what is going on at that time of the year. So I know there's some in there about Easter candy, April Fool's Day, and even some animal ones because we know we're getting into springtime. You can even pull up the news, and then there are faith programming. Now, I point this out just because I know that things are a lot different these days. You're not able to have people come in the community to help practice faith. This is a great alternative for you to help provide your residents with some faith programming. It's all auditory, and it has Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Islamic, Buddhist, and even just a general spirituality. And these are all provided by our partners, Coro Health. If you drill into the different religions, they have prayers, inspirations, sacred texts, education, and healing meditations. So you are able to kind of create your own service. Okay, any questions on the resources that you have available to you for activities? Perfect. That's a great question, Ashley. As far as the games go, the ones that we have control over the categories, those get updated at least monthly. So Name That Croon does not get updated as often because that's based on Coro Health's game. But the Guess What categories, if you click into the Guess What categories, we actually indicate and put the ones that are the newest up on top, or the ones that have been updated and have to do with the specific time of year. So we want to make those as easy as possible to be able to get to. So those are updated. We actually add new categories every single month, and each month we do try to update another category as well. We also update the word searches as well. Okay, great question. And then how do we get LifeShare into the residents' rooms? So that's a great question as well. So there is a way, if you do have an in-house channel that you have through your cable provider, our LifeShare box is able to hook up to the in-house channel. It just depends on if you need AV cables, HDMI cables, but if that's something that you are interested in, I do suggest you to reach out to our support team so that we can find out the best way to kind of go about that. It's a great question though. We do have some people who have our in-room LifeShare product, and that is an easy way for information to get into the residents' rooms as well. Great questions. All right, as far as communication tools go, so you guys all should know about the Family Mobile app, and if that's something that you are not using right now, I do strongly encourage you, especially in the times that we're in right now. It's a great tool to keep your families and staff updated with what is going on currently in the community. So there are two ways to log in: the community access pin and the family manager login. If you do not have the in-room LifeShare, your families are going to be using that community access pin. And the community access pin is set in your settings. You can set it at the campus level, or you can set it at the individual unit levels. A really neat service that we provide for you is that we create a mobile app flyer for you to help distribute and get the word out to your families about how to download and use the app. So through the community access pin, your families are actually able to see announcements. You are able to see activities, birthdays, menus, and then you can even see photos and videos that the campus has posted that are currently showing in their slideshow. So a lot of our communities right now are posting updates about different policy changes in the announcements channel so that the families are staying up to date. You can even date them so that they know it's the most recent information about what's going on in the community, because I know that all of you have a lot of different policies in place right now, and especially not letting families come into the community for your residents' safety. So it's a great option for you to keep everyone up to date. And we even have some clients that have residents with smartphones that have downloaded the Family Mobile app and have been using the community access pin to access information as well. Now, the second thing in here is actually a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys. So with this, we have a new feature that we'll be releasing soon, and you will be getting even more information in the coming weeks. But we have designed a resident mobile app. So a mobile app, and it's shown right here for you. And it is an app that is specifically designed for seniors, and it offers a lot of the benefits that our in-room LifeShare devices provide. It allows for messaging between family members and the residents. It also allows for messaging from the staff to the residents, and you can access the app either through a smartphone or through a computer, so they don't have to have it on their TV screen if they do have a mobile device like a tablet or a smartphone, or if they have just a desktop computer. They're really easily able to access your community's information. The really big thing that I like about this new feature coming out is the ability for staff to do whole campus messaging. So they would be able to send a message, whether it's about an activity, it's about the mail being here. And with that, if they have the app on their phone or their tablet, they get app notifications. They get those push notifications anytime they receive a message, or if they get an activity reminder. So if you have that set for them in the system, so not only will they be getting a text message and a phone call, but they can also get a pop-up on their phone reminding them about an activity. So that's something that is coming down the line. So please be checking your inbox for more information coming soon. It's something we are very excited about and think that it will really be a game changer for your communities. So like I said, there'll be some exciting news coming out with that release. So pay close attention. You're really going to want to learn more about this feature that is coming out soon. Any questions about communication and using the mobile app to be able to communicate with your families, with your staff, with your residents? Pop them in the chat box if you do have any additional questions. So many of you might be asking, where can you learn more? So I have listed out, and like I told you before, we'll send a follow-up email with this PDF so that you can actually click on these links if you want to learn more about these various things. So with the on-demand activity resources, we have a one-page help guide on each of the on-demand resources. We also have a video about calendars and then other help documents as well. And as I told you before, the Resident Mobile app information will be coming soon, so be checking your emails. So to kind of wrap up, because we are starting to get to the end of our time today, when will the new app be ready for folks? That is a great question. We are in the final stages of approval and getting everything together so that we are ready for people to start rolling it out to. So like I said, in the coming weeks, very soon, you should be receiving an email with an announcement and even more exciting information about this app. So that's a great question. I'm not going to put a specific time on it because, as anyone knows in the software world, you can't put a specific time on things, but it will be very, very soon. Great question. Any other questions about LifeShare staff efficiency tools or tools that you should be utilizing in the LifeShare system? Anything that I showed you today that you want to see a little bit more about, pop that in the chat box. If you guys have any other topics that you want to see featured during these monthly webinars, please also pop that in the chat box so that we can help to plan accordingly. We want to make sure that we're addressing topics that are interesting to you and that will help you in your everyday jobs. As a plug, so as I told you before, this will be coming out soon, and our very next webinar is going to be taking a deeper dive into the Share Resident mobile app. So it's called Share, that new mobile app, and we will be taking a big examination into it and be learning all the different capabilities and uses for the Share mobile app. So make sure you sign up for that one, especially if this is something that you are interested in utilizing in your community. It is never too early to go ahead and sign up. We will send you the Google Calendar link and you'll be able to learn even more about that app. But as I said before, make sure you are tuning into your emails and paying attention in the coming weeks because there will be some exciting announcements surrounding that new feature. So, as always, we appreciate you spending time out of your hectic days. We know that times are crazy right now, but we do understand that you are doing what is very best for your residents and your community. So we thank you for all that you do. We are here to help support you in any way that we can. So please make sure that you reach out to us, whether you have questions or need help with something. support@livesharetech.com. Our phone number is there as well, and we do encourage you to follow us and our parent company, Spectrio, on your social media. We give lots of tips and tricks, and you'll get to see new announcements, especially if you are excited about that Share Resident mobile app coming out. Follow us on social media, and you will learn more here soon. So once again, we thank you so much for taking time out of your day today. I will be hanging around, and so will Kim, so that we can help answer any other lingering questions you have. Even if it's not about staff efficiency tools, we are here to help you, and we do want to help answer your questions. So thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you and all that you do for your communities. Stay healthy and stay safe.